All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Stephanie again. If you didn't see before, we did a little goal planning session, so we talked a lot about what she's looking to do and what she wants to have happen. Stephanie, if you could just tell a little bit about what it is that you're wanting to learn from this session.
Oh, I'm wanting to learn more movements for strength for my core and endurance as well, to gain endurance through what we're doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you were wanting to return back to running?
Yes.
Right. The other goal was to
lose 10 pounds.
Lose.
Well, it's actually 9.
9, but it's okay if you lose 10. That's cool. So that's kind of the thing we're going to work on here. Sometimes we work on just technique in the lesson. Sometimes we work on fitness. Right. This will be a little bit of more like 90% fitness with like 10% technique.
Okay.
Right. Because the way that you move, we're going to practice movement. And when you practice movement, you're basically practicing martial arts.
Ooh, I like that.
Right,
Yeah.
and especially if you know the way in which you're moving, how that applies to martial arts, then you can kind of think of it as you do it. Okay?
Yes.
So the one thing I remember during the goal planning session, we talked about having a little bit of a warm-up thing to do to kind of loosen you up and give you just kind of something to do at least once a day.
Okay.
Right? To get the energy flowing, to loosen things up, and to kind of regenerate, right? So first we'll just go through a simple little warm-up that I usually do.
Okay.
And this is just basically to move your body in different directions, different planes of rotation.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead, face me here, feet a little bit wider than shoulder width. So what I'm going to do is swing my arms right here. Hold on. Notice how when I swing my arms, I turn my knees.
Pivoting.
Exactly. Pivoting is important because if you're ever like this here and you have rotation in the upper body and you don't have rotation in the lower body, you might be straining a part right here.
Okay.
Right? Or if your hips are twisting and your knees aren't, then you might have some strain in your knees or maybe your ankles, right? Somewhere along the line where there's movement up here and there's not movement down here, there's going to be some strain.
Makes
but
sense.
if you do this here, it's all going to work together and everything should reach its end point more or less at the same point. Right?
Yep.
So this is kind of like also how you throw punches. Your body your arms are kind of more floppy, and your core is what does the work.
Okay.
Right? So thinking about this base, right? Now, another thing, we're going to especially target the hips with these warm-up exercises.
Yeah.
Okay. These bugs.
I should have thought
All right, so hands on the hips, and we just go in hip circles. Okay. And so I want to try to keep my knees a little bit straight to make sure that the
Feel good?
yeah, I needed the hip to pop. Okay, so you can bring your feet together, and when you go do your hip circles, you're gonna feel a little bit more on the outside, right? So like right here, I feel this.
Okay.
Right, and then so as I'm moving my hip circles, just be very mindful of your back, right?
Yeah.
Because it could pinch in there as you move through the range of motion. But you should feel comfortable and even on both sides as you do this. Also think like maybe move your hips a little bit more, right? Out around the feet.
There we go. That feels better.
Okay. Let's go a little bit wider than shoulder width.
Okay.
Now you should feel this a little bit more here, especially when you're like pushing the hips forward.
Okay.
And then there, I should feel some tension if I'm really pushing my hips to the range of motion.
Okay.
Right. So then here I can feel this here a little bit more in the groin area, right there. Moving in circles, rotation in circles is a good way to get everything. So like here I'm stretching these muscles, and as I rotate here, now I'm stretching more of these in the front and the side, and then I get to here, it's to the side, back side, back side, side, front, right, and all the way around. So it's 360, right? Same thing with like twisting this way here, all of the core muscles all the way around. When I twist, get involved.
Okay.
Right? Rather than like doing something in one plane of motion like this here, now I'm going to be just working the back.
Okay. Anyways,
I call this one Michael Jackson. Back, out, behind, out, behind. Or you could just say behind, out, front, behind, out, front. Especially if you do this with control like you're doing, right? It's going to work your balance, which is going to work some of those muscles in there. But notice how the hip is rotating as we do this.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Right, so it's rotating back, it's rotating out, rotating forward, and out again. Right, so that's gonna really do good to work those hips.
Okay,
right?
I
So
like
you
that
think
one.
like, I want to get to that point. Hold it for a second. Hold it. Hold it. Right. Back. Out. Out. Right. The thing you don't want to do is, especially as a warm up.
Yes.
Things will be like, "What are you doing? We're gonna tighten up because you're wild and crazy." Okay, so, and then another thing I do that I like to focus on, aside from the rotation, right, and then the movement of making of circles,
yes,
right, is the walking pattern.
Okay.
Right? So instead of thinking of things of like, if I'm going to work my legs and my hips, that it's got to be both of them pushing in the same way at the same time. So if I do this here, this is both doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Both legs are doing the exact same thing. And this is not the most efficient way to pick something up. It's the best way to pick something very heavy up off the ground. But really, like, imagine you wouldn't have any use for that evolutionary wise.
I understand.
You would have more use if you're going around and picking up food from the ground, is you would come here and do it that way, right?
Okay.
That's less strain on all the muscles. If you do this and you pick up food like that, after 100, you're gonna be done. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But also the reason that I focus on that is because it's not the walking pattern.
Okay, that's right.
Right? And that's what you want to have in your mind and in those muscles, is working that walking pattern.
Okay.
Where one is in front and one is in back.
Okay.
Which is also the same as that alternating yin yang that I was talking about with punching.
Okay.
One comes back and one goes forward, right? Or one goes back, one goes forward, right?
Okay.
So this is like our running motion. Okay. You can think about touching the ground here and then touching the ground here. It's more or less the same thing. Okay. Right?
Do you want me to do this now?
Yes. Okay. Or you can just do it the way, do it like normal, like here. Step forward, touch the ground, step back. Now step forward with the other leg.
Okay.
Drop down, keep your back nice and straight here. I mean, I have a tendency to like drop my head.
That's what I just did too.
So I can get my arms down there. So I'm mindful of that, camera, just so you know. Okay, here, keep the back straight. Support your hand on your knee. If it's,
okay.
Yeah. And the other thing about the lunging thing is, like, when we lunge, and if we lunge and we come like this here, it's too much on this leg.
Yes.
Right? So then notice how my knee is in front of my toes and my head is here. This is a lot of strain right here. And then as I come up, it's going to be nothing but that. We want to learn patterns where the muscle groups are stressed evenly. Okay. Right? And that'll be more functional. So that's a good warm up for you. Okay. To get ready for activity or just shake things up throughout the day. Okay. At least once a day, and you should be feeling a lot better. Okay. With at least just the hips and stuff. Now for actually getting the heart rate up and challenging the body with like exercise. Now we want to get a little bit more dynamic. Okay. And so one of the things that I like to work on with with especially conditioning and stuff is that we move in different ways in terms of the leg coming in front of the legs. So this trail leg going in front, so that if I'm here and I go this way here, and then I stop, and then this one is the trail leg, so now it's going to go in front here like this. Now there. Okay. And again, we want to think about everything turning together. So my knees and my hips and everything as I go here like this. Yes. Right? So I take a big jump that way. Now this leg jumps over right here. Very good. Big jump. Good. And then your arms should perfect. Okay. Do that about 10 more times. Very good. Bigger jumps. Very good.
Hit the microphone.
Don't land on my microphone. And then also think about, we want to land soft. Okay, so when we jump, it's like the contact and the way that we disturb the sand wants to be kind of minimalized. So I'm here. Notice how I'm landing soft here.
Okay.
And then that allows me, as I land soft, it allows me to jump back the other way right away.
Okay.
Right, go ahead, let's do 10 more. Very good.
Woo.
Excellent. Landing soft. I know the sand isn't the most ideal here.
Yeah, but it's good for balance.
It is, for sure. And little stabilizer muscles in the legs. All right, that's good. I don't want to challenge you too much, okay? And so there's a couple of other patterns that I follow, okay? So here's one where now the trail leg doesn't go in front, but the trail leg goes behind.
Okay.
Yep, and this is gonna be kind of like the opposite pattern because I'm gonna notice my heels are now pointed this way as I push off, right? So instead of this way and then going here, driving, I'm here like this, and I'm going behind.
Got it, okay.
So it's a different set of muscle groups.
It is, I can feel that already.
Right. Let's go back just a little bit. Just practice it a few times.
So,
Yep. Very good. Excellent. Good.
are my arms correct?
No.
That's what they
I
felt
usually
really
say
weird.
don't think about the arms, and they usually do what. But when you think of what you must have been thinking about your arms, which is why they were kind of frozen.
Yeah, they were frozen.
Which is okay. If they're frozen, that's okay. And then all you think about, let's get back in the center. All you think about is like, if I'm kind of keeping them still, and I want to roll this way, notice how my arms are going to kind of like
Okay.
go this way. So as I do this here, boom. Actually, it's the opposite. My hands go with this way here. That's where my foot goes. Both of them
Okay.
towards. So I'm going this way. It follows the way my foot goes. Yeah? Very good.
I don't know why I was having such a hard time with that
Arms
earlier.
go that way now, this way here. Very good. Good. Yep. And you think like, as you're running, you know, you're not touching your face, but something comes to the face all the time.
Yes.
Right? And when you're doing this as well, as I go here, if I'm doing this one, okay, or if I'm doing this one, there's a hand that touches my face.
Okay.
Right? So as I come here like this, here, okay, or as I go this way here. This one is my left hand, my left foot moves. I'm back. If it's the cross step in front, it's the right hand as the left hand goes in front. Right?
Okay.
Practice that first.
I'll practice that
Get
for
the
you.
pattern. I'm gonna edit that out. But hopefully that wasn't on camera beforehand.
I had no idea.
All right. Neither did I. I felt it and I was like, that's my instinct. All right. So the last one this is like leg stuff.
Okay.
You know, it's not the only thing you want to do, but it's good to have different patterns for your legs that also match these running patterns. So this one is, instead of the trail leg crossing front or behind,
Yeah.
the lead leg steps out and we come here.
Oh, I like these.
It's like the capoeira,
Yes.
Jenga, right? I want to get my knee close to the ground, but not touch the ground.
Okay.
Here in the sand, you can do it, but you definitely don't want to like bang your knee into a rock.
Right.
Okay? Start real slow.
All right.
It's just a tiny little step out, right? So a little step out here, little step out here, little jump there.
Now, is my back leg too far back? Should it be more this way,
So
in line
the thing
with
with
the front
that is, if you make a big leap and you really need to change direction, then you might actually like come like this. right?
Okay.
And I might actually start turning this way because it'll help me to come back.
Yeah, got it.
Right? Like I'll be here, and my foot being around like that would actually turn me more that way.
Okay.
To help me turn that way. Which is what happens when you make a really big jump and your body has to compensate. But really what I want to do is that as I come out here, that I keep that foot outside and I don't let that cross too much.
Okay.
Because if I do stay like this and this foot travels really far like that, imagine there's some muscles in this area that are gonna get lengthened
Okay.
as my foot comes like that.
Got it.
Right, so as I come here like that, you might feel a little bit of a stretch and a pinch there.
Okay.
So that's just want something to be cautious of.
Yes.
But it's also something that you need to be able to get in and out of that position.
Right.
As well. So it's not something that you completely want to avoid, but you want to avoid it in extremes.
Okay.
Because if you're extremely stretching that muscle, extremely putting a lot of tension on it, right, really quickly and rapidly, extreme onset of tension can cause injury.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so one more thing I was going to talk about. We talked about touching the ground here, which
Yes.
is kind of like a little bit hamstring, back of the leg, but a lot of what we've been doing is glutes.
Yes.
You probably feel a little bit in your quads.
Okay.
So this next one is going to be the opposite of what we've been doing, which is kind of like accelerating ourselves up
Okay.
off the ground, which is more of a quad glute type thing. Now we're going to do our hamstring glutes. Okay, so then what we do here is we just touch the ground and we lift our leg. Right? You can touch the ground with both hands. Okay? With me, I get really specific with my martial arts. I'm actually punching and touching my face. But the idea here is like if you do it with both legs, that's okay. It's more control. It has less tension on your legs, your hamstrings.
Okay.
You're less likely to injure them. But that's not the pattern of the walking pattern, right? So that's why I like to first just think about get here, stretch your hamstrings, and pull your head up by flexing your hamstrings right there.
Like a deadlift.
Like a stiff leg deadlift.
Yeah.
The deadlift is here, right, with the bent legs. Okay, it's more quads, right? A little bit more of the glutes. And now this is stiff leg deadlift. Okay, it's a lot more hamstrings, a little bit glutes. Okay, right now, if you do it with one leg here, with one straight leg, right? This straight leg.
Okay. So,
that's a lot of tension on the hamstring.
So this leg's straight when I go down.
I bend it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if you really want to target your hamstrings, you keep your knee completely straight.
Okay.
But if you want to do it like you would in a normal movement,
Yeah.
you would never do it with your legs completely straight. There would be a little bit bent.
Right. Okay.
Here.
Okay.
And if you do this,
Oh, I like that one.
yeah, basically the same thing. I just do a little shuffle, and then I'm throwing down.
Okay.
And the arm that throws down, the leg that comes up.
Okay.
Right. Go ahead, shuffle to your right. Now left hand down, touch your face, lift the leg. Very good. Shuffle left. Right hand down, touch the face left, right leg up. Good.
Oop, wait. Is
Left
this right?
hand. Yep. Yep. Very good.
The balance is off.
All good. It's the sand.
I know, but
Plus the camera always throws your balance off. You don't know that. And it also messes up your coordination.
I know.
And I've heard it adds 10 pounds, but
Oh God, I hope not.
I just think it adds 10 pounds of muscle
Woo!
from what I've seen. Just kidding. All right, so I don't want to overwhelm you or anything like that. We've learned a lot today. If you want to learn more on another session, we can.
Okay.
Right? But I want to make things simple, also short for people watching.
Sure.
Right? This is a good enough.
Yes, I
amount
do
for
have a
you to
question.
practice. Yes.
How many sets and how many reps?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
So what I tell people is I would start out with 30 seconds of an activity.
Okay.
Right? So if you're trying to get back to running,
Yeah.
right? So the first time that you run, you want to think, okay, what pace is it that I would run for a long distance? Maybe for 5 minutes. Okay, that pace, I would start out with that for 30 seconds at a time.
Okay.
Once you get past a certain level of time, your muscles may fatigue, run out of oxygen.
Yes.
Causes your form to get out of whack.
Yes.
But it's also like it's the first time you're challenging those muscles in a while.
Yeah.
You don't want to make them sore.
Okay.
Right? So if this is something that made your quads really sore or your glutes really sore for like 2 or 3 days, what you would be learning, you want to learn how to contract your muscles with more force. You don't want to learn to have pain when you contract your muscles. Makes you want to not contract those muscles.
Correct.
Makes you learn to not contract those muscles. So like when people do leg day, they're like, I'm gonna make my legs super strong. For like an hour or so, they blast their legs. They learn how to contract their legs really well for like an hour. But then for like 2 or 3 days, when they're sore, they're walking around all funny.
Right.
And learning like weird patterns because they can't contract their quads. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And so you want to avoid that where you are getting a pain signal when you contract your muscles.
Okay.
Or at least an extreme amount of pain.
Got it.
You see what I mean? So then thinking of that as your guide,
Okay.
all right, what kind of exercise could I do today that will leave me able to do the same exercises the next day, but, you know, where I may need to rest and give myself a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And it's about listening to your body.
Right, sure.
So any of these exercises that I would do in the beginning, I would say do as many as you can under control for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Not as many as you can, like really trying to go fast.
All right.
Right? But trying to get through it and get the pattern down. Right? That's how I would practice it in the beginning because you're not in a huge hurry.
Okay.
Right? You're not like, that's the big thing with fitness as well. People coming back from injuries or whatever. It's like, I need to start having results. And to start having results, I need to have a significantly challenging session. Right? And if the session is significantly challenging, then it's like, oh, I burned calories, I made my muscles stronger. Who cares how I feel like tomorrow? Right?
Right.
How you feel like tomorrow is more important than what you did in this session right now. And what in this session is like you want to learn those patterns. So like it's okay, say 30 seconds of doing this and just going slow. Here, boom, boom. 30 seconds of that, you might get like 8 or so reps on each leg.
Okay.
You know, depending upon how fast you go.
Right.
Could be a good challenge.
Okay.
See how you feel the next day.
All right.
Right? And maybe the next time you do that, you do 30 seconds, you do 10 on each leg.
Right.
All right? And then you bump it up a little bit to, you know, more reps per 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then you can say, all right, now maybe I can do a minute of this. What I do is I do 90 seconds of movement, alternated with 90 seconds of stretching.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And if you want to, we can do another session. I can show you some stretching stuff.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And, or I guess we just split this up into 2 different videos.
That's fine.
Yeah. Because we'll do some stretching stuff because I showed about 3 different exercises and then I can show you about 3 different stretches.
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry to say this, but I forgot I had a meeting at 8 o'clock this morning before I scheduled that. I just need to be cognizant of that.
Okay. No, it's okay. We'll
I told them I'd be
we'll do
like
a whole
15
nother
minutes
session,
late.
right?
So.
I can make a whole nother content thing about this. That's okay.
Okay. I was like, oh no, I forgot to check my calendar.
All good.
Okay.
All good. I'm glad you showed up and you didn't cancel and you got some good value out of this.
Yeah, this is awesome.
You learned something.
I'm going to go back home and work out right now.
Oh, be careful. If I see you walking around tomorrow on the beach.
I know, and we live on the same street. I'll be like, what's your problem?
It wasn't from exercise, I promise. I don't know what you did then. But, so we'll schedule a time. We can do some stretching. Well, actually, we can just do a whole set of the workout that I do.
Okay.
It's like somewhat light depending on how fast you move. It's just about 8 movements and 8 stretches. So we'll just get into that next time, and then I'll take you through that.
Okay.
Right, we can do that here, maybe on the platform, somewhere around here.
Okay.
If that works for you.
That works for me.
What's your schedule like this week?
My schedule's pretty good this week.
Okay. We'll figure it out
Okay.
when the camera gets done. What is it that you found to be most interesting about what you learned today?
Ooh, to take my time doing each move, because I am like that person that you said in the example, not being in fitness for a little bit of time and then wanting to get back in and then I wanting to go hard right away.
We're all like that.
I just like, but this is good because I need to learn a different way.
As a trainer, I get people and they're super motivated, pumped up, and they get their first training session with you and they're like, that's it? Like, I'm paying you to basically put me into the dirt.
Right.
I can't put myself into the dirt. I'm paying you to put me into the dirt. No, you're paying me because I'm the expert and I know how to get you from here to there.
Yes.
And you want to do it running out of the gate.
Right.
And you're going to trip and fall.
Right.
And like I did. And everybody has this kind of you could think of it as like a masculine or like a higher, like a drive to do something extra when they're working out. And with the kids that I work with, I always try to tell them not to be too awesome, and they're like, what do you mean not to be too awesome? It's like, if you come in and you perform so well and you do so much work and everything like that, and you're so awesome, then everybody will expect you to be awesome in the future.
Correct.
But it's all just like, take the pressure off yourself. It's not that serious, right? And you have plenty of time to learn all these things and to get your body. But if you run out of the gate and you trip and hurt yourself, or you make yourself sore and you never loosen up those muscles or anything, then that's going to be a kind of like a hindrance throughout your training experience. So, like you said, being patient and starting very, very slow. And that's also how you learn as well.
Right.
So if you want to learn a movement, right, you start like, okay, I need to do a full blast. Blah! Like, no, I need to do this kind of slow and learn the patterning.
Correct.
Right? And just get into it. And then your body will be more comfortable in those movements.
Okay.
That's what you want to actually learn.
Right.
Is to be comfortable moving and getting from position to position. And then when you speed it up, it's nice and smooth, and it's fast and everything that you want. So, perfect. No more questions, no more talking from me. We'll just do our high five, and we'll see you on the next one.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you.
Thank you.